Nutrient pollution. While they're vital for underwater flora and fauna to flourish, an excess of nutrients can upset the delicate imbalance of water-based ecosystems. Fertilizers contain a high concentration of nutrients which, if they contaminate rivers, lakes and coastal areas, can cause algal blooming that can block out sunlight and inhibit the growth of other organisms. Nutrient pollution is the process where too many nutrients, mainly nitrogen and phosphorus, are added to bodies of water and can act like fertilizer, causing excessive growth of algae. Nutrients can run off of land in urban areas where lawn and garden fertilizers are used. Pet and wildlife wastes are also sources of nutrients. To see how this happens, consider this visualization of the Chesapeake Bay, part of the largest watershed in the Northeast. This illustration shows the amount of suspended matter, e.g., salt, mud, debris, in waterways before and after areas in this region received exceptionally heavy rainfall in 2011. All of this rain and runoff eventually made its way into the Chesapeake Bay. This process is also known as eutrophication. Excessive amounts of nutrients can lead to more serious problems such as low levels of oxygen dissolved in the water. Severe algal growth blocks light that is needed for plants, such as seagrasses, to grow. When the algae and seagrass die, they decay. In the process of decay, the oxygen in the water is used up and this leads to low levels of dissolved oxygen in the water. This, in turn, can kill fish, crabs, oysters, and other aquatic animals. Nutrients come from a variety of different sources. They can occur naturally as a result of weathering of rocks and soil in the watershed, and they can also come from the ocean due to mixing of water currents. Scientists are most interested in the nutrients that are related to people living in the coastal zone because human-related inputs are much greater than natural inputs. Because there are increasingly more people living in coastal areas, there are more nutrients entering our coastal waters from wastewater treatment facilities, runoff from land in urban areas during rains, and from farming. All of these factors can lead to increased nutrient pollution. Oxygen depletion pollution. Another consequence of algal blooms is their consumption of oxygen supplies. This means that those species which depend upon oxygen to survive are killed off, while anaerobic ones thrive. Some anaerobic microorganisms are capable of producing ammonia, sulfides and other harmful toxins, which can make the water even more dangerous to animals and humans, too. Dissolved oxygen is one of the major indicators of water quality. Just as humans need oxygen to breathe, aquatic life needs sufficient amounts of oxygen dissolved in water to survive. Dissolved oxygen depletion can occur for several naturally occurring reasons, most of which are highly preventable or treatable. Dissolved oxygen depletion can occur with pollution of the water, but this will be covered in a future post. The primary cause of oxygen depletion in a water body is from excessive algae and phytoplankton growth driven by high levels of phosphorus and nitrogen. During the nighttime hours, these photosynthetic organisms consume oxygen through respiration when engaging in active photosynthesis. Additionally, as algae and phytoplankton die, the process of decomposition also requires significant amounts of dissolved oxygen. If these blooms are dense or a die-off occurs suddenly, the impacts to fish can be more severe and cause fish kills. Temperature also plays a prominent role in dissolved oxygen levels because temperature establishes a maximum oxygen holding capacity of water. High water temperatures, 86 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, reduces this holding capacity. Fish are cold-blooded animals, which means their body temperature and activities are regulated by the water they inhabit, and warm water increases the fish's consumption of oxygen by accelerating their metabolic rate. Aside from temperature, weather also is a contributor to dissolved oxygen levels within a resource. On cloudy days, the production of oxygen through photosynthesis is slowed or halted. Additionally, still and windless days do not allow circulation of the water in a resource and limits surface diffusion of atmospheric oxygen. During the hot summer months, deeper ponds experience stratification as the water near the surface warms and becomes less dense than the cooler water near the bottom. As the season progresses, the cool water near the bottom becomes stagnant and depleted of oxygen. As the top layer of water cools from either a heavy rainstorm or a cold front, the water then mixes or turns over with the deep, oxygen-deficient water, and a pond-wide oxygen depletion can occur and harm fish populations, possibly even causing die-offs. Considering levels of dissolved of oxygen in a pond or lake are largely caused by factors that seem out of a pond owner's control, many question what can be done and get discouraged with pond management. There are several management strategies available to any pond facing dissolved oxygen issues and are best applied under the advice of a professional biologist equipped with the proper background information. In the case of stratification and increasing water temperatures, an aeration system that is custom designed to properly treat a given resource will eliminate these issues. By mixing a resource with diffused aeration bottom to top and turning it over several times a day, stratification can be completely avoided. The benefits of avoiding stratification are increased dissolved oxygen levels throughout a resource and increased usable habitat for fish. Additionally, by running an aeration system at strategic times during the summer, instead of 24/7, temperatures in the pond can be kept as low as possible. Perhaps the most important benefit to a properly built and designed aeration system is the constant optimization of dissolved oxygen levels. In a highly oxygenated environment, nutrients that cause algae blooms bind to free molecules such as iron and precipitate out of the water column. Another strategy to combat algae growth is the application of beneficial bacteria. Beneficial bacteria outcompete algae for available nutrients, thus eliminating the aggressive blooms that can cause dissolved oxygen sags. By eliminating stratification and reducing the chances of dense algae and phytoplankton blooms, a pond owner can keep dissolved oxygen levels high and eliminate the stressors to the fish populations.